So this is part 2 of a video. I was talking about all the things that went wrong on my trip to Korea, and now I'm just going to tell you guys about this specific event that happened with my host. So if you haven't watched the first video, you should probably watch it and get the background information that led up to this point. Or you could just watch from here and just, I don't know, whatever. 2 weeks into my trip, my friend from Norway left. She's gone. So I already have like places on Airbnb that I'm looking, that I have saved in like a list and I'm considering moving into. It's 14 out of my 20, was it 14? Or was it 12? 12 days out of my 28-day stay in his room. It's a Sunday. I got back to my room. I needed to do laundry, so I washed my clothes, then I hung them up to dry. A lot of places in Korea don't have dryers. Same with Japan. You gotta air dry. Important detail, the way the rooms are set up. My room, his room, there are screen doors. And there's a balcony, a shared balcony that connects to both our rooms. Out there is a washing machine, and also the, what do you call that? The thing that you hang your clothes on, like you have to pull a string and it lowers, and then like you hang your clothes on each individual like rack, and then you like pull it and it goes back up. This big old metal thing. So I pull it down, I put all my clothes on, I lift it back up. This is my first time doing laundry in 2 weeks, so like I have a decent amount of stuff on there. I hang up my clothes, and then he asks me if I would like to have dinner. Like he's gonna make some black bean noodles, and he asked me if I wanted to have some. And I've been waiting for years to try black bean noodles, and I didn't know how to make them myself. So I was like, yeah, sure. So cool. I'm hanging up my laundry, he's making the black bean noodles. He finishes them. We sit down at the kitchen table, we eat the black bean noodles, everything's normal. We just have regular conversation about like his job, whatever else we have conversation about. We finish dinner, and then, you know, it's normal. He goes to his room, he says goodnight, I say goodnight, go in my room. I sit down, I start watching a movie. Now, I'm sitting on my bed, chilling with my headphones in, I hear a knock. And I thought I was tripping at first. Then I hear a knock again. So I was like, nah, I definitely heard a knock. So I paused the movie, I get up, answer the door. He's standing there. I was like, yeah, what's up? He's being weird again. Like the first night when he told me I was too loud, he's being weird. And I can tell like something's bothering him. And he's just like, you know, again, so with scratching, you have 2 more. I know you've been here for like 2 weeks, and I know you got 2 more weeks here. He's like, I have a suggestion for you. Again, broken English. So he's like, I have suggestion for like the rest of your time here. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, what did I do now? Like, dang, was I still being loud? I've been trying my best, but I guess I've still been like, oh, I did something wrong. And now he's nervous to tell me. So I'm waiting for him to tell me what I did wrong so I can fix it. And he's just still not getting to the point. So at some point I'm just like, I'm just like, what's up? Like, what's wrong? And he's just like, blah, 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 blah. I want to hang out. Like, I want to hang out with you. And I was hoping like we could eat dinner every night, and like we can go explore the towns, and we can go shopping, and we can eat food, and we can try food together. And I want to sleep with you, and da 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 da, and just this and that and that. And then I was like, whoa. And once he said that, I stopped. Like, I stopped listening. Everything else, like, I don't even know what he was saying, but like I stopped. And I was like, there is no way that I just heard what I think I heard. Like, as a female, and a younger female, and a female who's traveling on the other side of the world, I don't know, I just froze, and like, y'all, I was like, okay. I was like, his English, he's got broken English. He doesn't always use the right vocabulary. Like, I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt so badly, because I'm just like, there's no way this is happening. Like, you know, being in a situation like I was saying where I was kind of scared at that point, I was just like trying to make the situation end without escalating the situation. So instead of getting him upset or anything, I was just kind of like, I don't mind, like, one day when I go to like Myeongdong again, like, you can join with me or something like that. Like I said, I'm not trying to make him angry. I'm not about to be like, everybody else would probably be like, I would have blown up and I would have did this, and this. Okay, but you have to be smart about these kind of situations, because I'm in his home. I don't have any weapons. I don't know where he keeps the weapons. I told you about this like nervous thing he's got. I don't know if he's gonna like go off on me, just anything. So I'm not trying to set this man off. So I was just like, you know, we can maybe go shopping one day, knowing good and well that I'm not doing anything with this man ever. Like, no. But I just need him to get out of my room. So I'm saying what I need to say to get him out of my face. So I was just kind of like, you know, we can go shopping one day. And then he was like, no, but I want to sleep with you. And so in that moment, I was like, okay, this is real. Wake up, like, Kayla, this is real. It's time to act. Like, he really said that. You weren't tripping. You didn't mishear him. It wasn't his broken English. He said what he said. So I was like, okay. So I was just like, oh, no, no, no. Like, I have a boyfriend and he wouldn't be comfortable with that. I can't. No, no, thank you. You know, all this stuff. So after I rejected him, he just, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm just a man. You know how men are. I'm just a man, you know, I have a wife, and, you know, she lives so far and I don't see them very often, and all this, like, he's talking and giving me all these excuses, and I'm grossed out. Like, I just feel so, ew, just thinking about it. Like, ew, it's so disgusting. Like, it's so disturbing, and I just feel so violated. And I'm just like, I've been in the house with this man, and, like, in his house, just thinking about all the things that could have happened to me in that moment, in that time that I've been there. And I'm just like, I'm terrified right now. I'm freaking out inside. And he's still talking, you know, blaming it on him being a man. And I'm just like, oh my God, please leave me alone. Please get out of my room. I'm scared. And so he's just talking, you know, I'm just a man, and you're very pretty. And just, I thought, you know, all these things. And I'm just like, you know, and he's just like, forget I ever said it. We could just, and I'm like, yep, and so he's just like, okay, like, it's okay. And I was like, okay. And so he's like, and he reached out to shake my hand, like, do we have a deal? Like, it never happened type thing. And I'm just like, because now he reached out his hand. The last thing I want to do is touch him right now. But like I said, I'm scared and I don't want to set him off. So I go in and I shake his hand. And when I shook his hand, he just kind of like, he shook it. You know, everybody knows, like, the standard, like, handshake is only going to last a couple seconds, and then it's done. Like, not even a couple seconds, just like, shake, done. But he held it, and he held it for, like, a little too long, and then he finally, like, slowly let my hand go. As he let my hand go, he just kind of, like, slowly brought it up to himself and, like, kind of, like, held it. Like, I don't know if it was kind of like a, oh my God, like, her touch, like, ew. I couldn't tell if it was that kind of thing, or if it was like, he just regretted the whole situation and now he's thinking to himself, what did he just do? I don't know. Either way, it completely creeped me out, holding my hand for too long, and then just like holding it and slowly turning and walking away. Then he walked to his room. So at this point, locked the door. He walked out, I locked the door. I go to the back door, I lock the door, I pull the shades down, and I sit down. And it's like 9 o'clock at this point. So in America, it's like 5 a.m. So ish. It was like 14 hours ahead. I don't know. It's all I know is it's early in the morning and nobody's gonna be woke on my side yet. I'm freaking out. I'm just like, oh my God, what just happened? I sit down on my bed and I'm trying not to freak out because, like I said, I don't want him to freak out. He already was panicking at the thought of like me giving him anything less than 5 stars on Airbnb. God knows what he'll do if he knows that I'm freaking out because he just did something inappropriate and he can get in like actual trouble for this. Like, I did not want him to know at all. So I just kept quiet. I sat on my bed, I put on my headphones, and I start texting my sister. I'm like, I need you to wake up. So I'm messaging her on my computer through iMessage. I'm like, wake up, please wake up. Oh my God, Daya, please wake up. I need you, emergency, like, wake up, wake up. Send her like 15 texts. And then after like 2 minutes, I was just like, she's not gonna wake up. It's early over there, so I FaceTimed her, and then she woke up, and she answered the phone, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And immediately when I saw her and she talked to me, I just busted out crying, and I was like holding my mouth, and I was just like, and I started typing to her because I don't want to talk because he can hear me in his room. So I start typing to her. I'm like, oh my God, and I tell her what happened. Like, he just told me, he just tried to sleep with me, and like, I'm just telling her what happened, and she's like, oh my God. So she has to call my mom on a separate phone, on her boyfriend's phone. She calls my mom, and she's telling my mom what's happening as I'm telling her through this. I'm texting her, and she's talking to my mom on the phone. And so they're just like, Kayla, you need to get out of that room. You need to pack your stuff. You need to go. I'm like, guys, I literally just did my laundry an hour ago. All my stuff, not only is it wet, but it's scattered all over the place, and it's hanging up on this thing. Like, I can't get my stuff, and I just have to go. Like, I just had to go. So I took my little backpack, and I put like a couple clean pair of underwear that I had, leggings maybe, and a hoodie that were sitting out on my bed. Grabbed like little things that I needed, toiletries that I had on the counter, and I just had to go, and I had to go silently, of course. I grabbed a little backpack of stuff. I held my laptop in my hand because I wasn't getting off FaceTime, and I just left. And so I went to the staircase of the apartment complex, and I just sat there with them, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. It's not like I have any contacts there. It's not like I know people in Korea. He's the only person I've talked to, except the employee who works at the gym downstairs. Like I said, I'd been going to the gym almost every day, so I would see him every day and say hi, and I've had small conversations with him in Korean. So I was like, he's the only person I can go to. So I did. Like I said, it was about 9 o'clock. Gym closes at 10 o'clock, and I went in there and I saw him, and immediately, like when I walked in, like he like oh hey, and I was just like hi, and I got my laptop, and I go to him, and I'm like, can I sit down? He said sure. So I sat down, and I'm talking to my sister. You know, I'm not in a mindset where I can just try to be having conversations in Korean, so I just went straight to Google Translate, and I was like, I have a situation, basically. I need your help. I don't want to stay in that room upstairs. Can you help me find somewhere to stay for the night? And he wrote on my computer, like, I get off at 10 o'clock. Can you wait for me at the coffee shop? It was probably like 9:30 at that point. Can you wait for me at the coffee shop upstairs? Because gym is in the basement. Then on the first floor, the lobby, there's a coffee shop. He said, can you just wait for me up there? I'll be off in like a little bit. I said, okay. Took my laptop, still on FaceTime with my sister. I went upstairs and I waited. And at like 10:06, he came in the coffee shop. He comes in the coffee shop. He sits down with me and he's like, okay, so like, what's going on? So now I tell him what's going on. Like, I sit in Google Translate. I told him what happened. I told him everything that happened. And I could see like his facial expressions as he was reading it. Like, not really understanding at first, and then it kind of like clicked to him. Cause I guess like the translation's a little off. I don't know, but you could see in his face like the concern. And then he was like, he asked you for sex, and I was like, well, he didn't come straight out and ask me for sex. He just said, I want to sleep with you. Now, I don't know, it's 2018. If you want to be in some denial world where like he maybe just meant cuddling, I don't know. That's not what I take it as. Maybe he did just mean cuddle in the bed with me because he's lonely. But the chances of that in his mind, what were the chances that that was not going to lead to sex in his mind? Like, either way, both to me in his mind were going to be sex. So I was like, he didn't come straight out and say sex, but you know, who are we kidding? Yes, he was going to help me find a place to stay. So first thing was first is I needed some cash, and he knew I told him my debit card wasn't working. So he was nice enough to take me to the bank. He took money out of his account, and I gave him my American cash to trade in exchange. Then he helped me find a hotel that was up the street. Now, mind you guys, I have my book bag on, I have a hoodie, and I have one of these slippers, like bedroom slippers, that are too big for my feet. So like I'm trying to walk and like they're too big. It's just, and it's cold. I don't know why it was that cold in Korea at that point, but he has on like this big old jacket, and like I just have on like my hoodie, like my light pink hoodie that I bought in Korea. And so I'm cold. I can't walk properly because my feet is just irritating. So we walk a couple blocks up the street to the hotel, and apparently they were all booked, no more rooms. So we had to think of something else. So at that point, he was like, you want me to just order a cab? And I was like, no, it's fine. And he was like, oh, like, you're obviously cold, it's fine. So he got a cab, called a cab back. And then there was this motel. So we go inside, and he's talking to the clerk. He gets me a room. He also had paid for the room. I was just kind of like, how much? Okay, so how much was it? How much do I owe you? And he was like, don't even worry about it, all this stuff. And I was like, no. And he was like, no, like, really, don't worry about it. Like, you let me know if you need anything. He gave me his numbers. Like, you let me know if you need anything, all this stuff. And he was so nice. And I was just like, thank you so much. I guess he could see in my face that like I was on the verge of tears the whole night. And I guess he just felt really bad for me. I got my room key. I went upstairs to my room. And that's when I called my mom and them back. And I was letting them know what happened. Like where I was, that I was safe, all that stuff. Fast forward, I slept for maybe like 3-4 hours maybe. Motel wasn't the best. And the guy who helped me, let's just call him Gym Guy. He knew it was like not the greatest motel, but you know, I had to take what I could get. So I was very uncomfortable in the motel room. I was like scared. At this point, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I'm scared I'm alone. I feel vulnerable. I'm just kind of laying on top of the covers in the bed, like, to myself. Don't want to touch anything. Call my family again, and we're talking about what I need to do. I need to figure out how to get my stuff out of his room, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't want to go back up there. I don't trust. I'm scared. I was terrified. I don't want to go back up there and see him. Just stress. I can just, at this point, I'm getting really stressed on this trip. It's almost like 11ish, so it's almost time for me to check out the room. Basically, I know at this point that I don't have anywhere to go, so I need to pay for another room in this motel, and then I'll figure out what to do. Like, I need to go pay for another room, go get some food, and then I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna get home. I need to like call Air China, get a flight home, all that stuff. So that's what I do. I go downstairs, and first of all, this exchange of information, like this conversation with these people at the front desk, it was hell because they weren't understanding what I was trying to say. I need another night. They kept trying to like get me to check out, and I'm like, no, I don't have anywhere to go. I need another room. And they weren't understanding, and it was just I was trying to like Google Translate, but the Wi-Fi was so bad in the motel that like it just wasn't loading. And even when it did load, she wasn't understanding what the translator was saying. And I was just like, oh my God. So finally she understood what I was saying. She gave me the key to the other room. I went to the new room they gave me. They couldn't even let me just stay in the same room. They had to give me a new room for whatever reasons. So I just moved my stuff to the next room. And then I went to go get food. I came back, got a whole pizza that would last me. Like, I bought a whole box of pizza so it would last me and I wouldn't have to keep leaving the room. At this point, I'm just irritated with everything. I'm frustrated. Nothing seems to be going right on this trip. And I was in the room. The electricity wasn't working, and I couldn't figure out why the electricity wasn't working. And I didn't want to have to go downstairs and try to explain to them my issue because they weren't even understanding me trying to get another room. I was like, how are they going to understand me trying to talk about electricity? And I could not for like half an hour figure out why the electricity wasn't working. At this point, like, my computer had been dying. My phone is probably dying. I can't charge all my stuff, and I was just like irritated. And finally it clicked to me. That's not how we do it where I'm from, but in this motel at least, you get the room key and there's like a little keychain. There's something on it that's dangling from it. You actually have to slide it into a slot that's by the front door, and when you do that, the electricity comes on. And I forgot because when I got there the first night, the guy from downstairs had come up and like did it for me. And so I didn't remember to do it the second time. And so finally I remembered that that's what I had to do. So I put it in there, and then like I was charging on my stuff. I was just like, I was becoming like an emotional wreck at that point. Not an emotional wreck, but I was just very, very stressed at that point. Yeah, so me and my mom had started looking for rooms and stuff because now I need a new place to stay, a new Airbnb to stay, until I can figure out what to do with my stuff. I need to get my stuff out of the room. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, we're literally trying to go over all the ways I could possibly get my stuff out of the room. And I don't know, just nothing was making sense to me. Like, I was just like, none of these sound like good ideas. None of them sound like anything I want to do. So I was like, I'm just going to call Airbnb. The whole time, I was very reluctant to call Airbnb because I knew that they were going to contact him, and I didn't want him to know that I had contacted them until I had all my stuff, until I was completely, like, out of that situation. So at this point, I was sitting on the bed, and I was like, I don't know what else to do. I don't. I went on the website, and I report this host. And so maybe, like, 20 minutes later, I wasn't expecting them to reach out to me this quickly. And it was great because I was glad they did. But like 20 minutes later, I got a call. I answered it. And this guy just kind of like, what seemed to be the problem. And then I busted out crying again. I was like, my host asked me to sleep with him. And that's when I busted out crying. And then he was just like, oh, like, you can hear like his voice just like completely run from like, oh, this is like a real situation. So he's like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened, like let me put you in like contact with, let me transfer you to the something team. Like, I guess it's a team that handles like the real situations. So he transferred me to some other lady, and she's talking to me about the incident. Did he touch you? What happened? Blah 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 blah. And I told her what happened, and then I tell her, I said, don't say anything to him yet because my stuff is in his room and I don't want him to do anything to my stuff, and like I still got to go up there and get it, and I don't need him being upset with me or any. She said, okay, you're right. She's like, but I need you to get your stuff out of there, girl. Like, you gotta go get that stuff out of there. She was telling me that I need to go to the police. That's what she recommended. I need to go to the Korean police and have them escort me up there. And I was like, I don't know. It just didn't seem to me like it was the best idea for me to go to the police. It was just gonna be just like so much for me. I don't speak Korean like that. Not like that. I don't know the Korean law. Like, it just seemed all bad to me. So I'm telling her, I was like, okay, I'll figure it out and I'll call you back and I'll let you know when I get the stuff out of there. After I talked to her, what was her name? Like, let's just say it was Alice. After I talked to Alice from Airbnb, I got a call from somebody else. It's a guy from Airbnb, and he's telling me, you know, I heard what happened. We're going to take care of the situation for you. We're going to reimburse you for your stay at the motel, and we're going to find you another place to stay for the remainder of your time that you're in Seoul that's like around the same cost. They were going to take the money from my other stay and use it to pay for the new place. So I'm just like, oh, thank God. That's like one less thing that I have to worry about. Like, I don't have to sit around and look for places. Like, I can worry about other things. They're going to find a place for me, and he told me he would call me in the morning and give me the address of the place, and like it was just already going to be taken care of, and like I was just going to be able to wake up and move into the new spot. I was like, perfect, like, you guys are great, thank you so much. After I hung up the phone with him, I texted the guy from the gym, and I was like, are you working? Like, he was like, are you okay? First of all, that was the first thing he said, like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine, like, you know. I really just wanted to give him the money back, because now that I paid for the second room, I knew how much the room cost, and I wanted to pay him his $40. And he was like, yes, I am working, but I'll be off at this time. Do you want to meet me at the coffee shop? I was just gonna drop the money off and like go, but he said to meet him at the coffee shop, so that's what I did. I met him at the coffee shop. He got off work, he came in there, and so he basically just wanted to know the update on the situation. And I was telling him Airbnb, they think I should go to the police and have them escort me up there. And he basically told me that he also didn't think it was the best idea for me to get the police involved, just for a number of reasons. He was also telling me how he can't really be too involved. Like, he would go up there with me, but he can't because he works there, and if it becomes like a big situation, he could lose his job. And I understand and I respect that, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I'm scared, and I'm like about to cry again, because I'm like, I have to go up there. I have to be the one at the end of all of this. After all this, I still have to go up there and get my stuff. I'm like, I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. I'm sitting in a coffee shop with him, and oh my God, while we were sitting in a coffee shop, we were facing the window, and he was like, oh, and like he pointed, and I was like, what? And I looked, and it was my host, and he was coming from, I don't know, maybe like the grocery store, and he was about to go into the building upstairs, and like, oh my God, I forgot about this. I hid so quickly behind the pillar in the cafe, like, oh my God, I was terrified. And just seeing him, I was just so reminded of how afraid I was to go up there. He said that he would go with me, but he could only go so far into the building, and then he would wait for me like downstairs or something while I go up and get my stuff. And so basically, after talking to my mom and my stepdad, we decided that the best thing for me to do is to get a trash bag, to run upstairs, keep them on FaceTime, run into the room, lock the doors, throw all my stuff in the bag, and then jet out. And so that's what I had to do. But I was scared because my stuff was on the balcony on the thing, and I knew that it was going to take a long time for me to pull the thing down, get all the clothes off individually, pack it up. And especially being on the balcony where like he has access to me. At least if I'm in the room, like I can lock both doors. But if I'm on the balcony, he can come out from his side. And I was just so terrified. But I had to do it. He went with me. Gym guy went with me to a little convenience store. We got a trash bag. We went up there. Well, I went up there. He waited downstairs. I went up there with the trash bag, computer in my hand. I quietly walked in the room. I set my computer down, and then I just started throwing stuff. I just started throwing everything in the bag, just everything, packing my big suitcase up, throwing everything else, and I went out on the balcony, and I slowly pulled it down, and I was just praying, like, just hoping, like, please do not come out here, just picking up all my stuff, putting it in the bag. My family is still on FaceTime. Like, my mom was in the background crying. I didn't know at the time. She told me later, and she didn't want me to, like, freak out. But she was in the background crying while my stepfather was, like, talking to me, like, trying to keep me calm while I was packing up the stuff. And then, like, finally, like, I packed everything up. I took the key to his room, set it on the desk, and I quietly walked out the room. Once I like closed the door, ooh, boy, all that luggage I had, I was moving, boy, I was gone. First thing I did was like run down the steps. I ran down like 3 flights or something because I just didn't know. I didn't want to wait for the elevator on the 9th floor because I didn't want him to like, I don't know. I was just so scared and paranoid. It's so bad. I just ran down a couple flights. Then I took the elevator down there. So I got down there. The gym guy was still there. I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know it took a while and like he was waiting for me. He helped me take all my stuff. Like, I had like suitcases at this point. I have all my stuff now. I have suitcases, and now I have this big old trash bag full of stuff because I couldn't properly, you know, like when you go on a long trip, you have to pack it a certain way that everything fits. And like, I just, when everything's jumbled, it's not gonna fit. So I have way too much stuff now. It's heavy. So he was nice enough to help me, walk me back to the motel with all my stuff, like helping me carry. I got there and I said like thank you again to him. I paid him back his $40 that he used to pay for my room for the first night. I said thank you again, like so much for the last time, like thank you, you know. It was kind of him. And so now I'm at the point where I'm like, thank God, like this is over. It's over. I was just like, oh my God, it's over. So I called the people from Airbnb and I tell them I got my stuff. It's cool. You can do whatever it is you got to do because I'm safe. I'm out of the room. All my stuff's out the room. Do your thing. Like, I don't care what you do. Do your thing. And they're just like, okay, cool. Like, we'll handle it. And I was like, all right, cool. That was the situation with my host. That's what happened to me. There's a lot more to the story. My trip in Korea, that is. But for this video, which is just like what happened with my host, that's really kind of like it. You know, that's the tea. We're only 2 weeks into my 6-week trip.